So I would like you to tell us the story, the whole story, since you got the roof done 2 years ago. So if you can walk us through the whole process and everything and explain what happened and until today.
Yeah, well, we contacted several different roofing companies. Unfortunately, we weren't able to qualify financing with your company because we were in the process of a bankruptcy at the time. So we reached out to another roofing company. They're down the shore. They came in, they gave us a beautiful presentation. They said, oh yeah, we can get you financed, no problem. They did an application for us. They ran our credit twice and said, sorry, we're not gonna be able to help you.
4 times.
And then they actually ran it a third time, unbeknownst to me, and got us qualified, which is a little weird, but anyway. So within a week later, they came out, a dumpster came out to our house. A pile of wood and all the roofing materials came out to our house. Didn't tell us that how they got the financing. They did an application unbeknownst to us without our approval. And on top of that, they used my son's information on top of that.
He was never on the picture.
Yeah.
So how they got his information?
They don't know.
Google, whatever, you know, it's out there. They just got it somehow.
And on top of that, my son's autistic.
Yeah.
So of course they did the sponsor of being the Autism Speaks and everything. So they came out, did the roof. It was within a week or so they did the roof. It was a horrible, horrible experience. They came out, they did the roof. It was leaking. They hacked into the roof. There was holes everywhere. We called them and said, hey, look, what can we do to fix it? They didn't respond. We contacted our attorney. He says, are you guys in the process of getting the roof done? He said, I told him, I said, it was already done already without the trustee being involved. He said, okay, that's going to be a problem. I did call the roofing company back and say, look, this can't happen. We didn't, where's our contract? We didn't get a contract signed. We basically had no idea what we actually were going to be paying for. No idea. So we reached out to our attorney. Our attorney said, look, this is beyond me. I'm going to give you another attorney. We went to another attorney. He said, look, I can't, this is beyond me. I have to give you somebody else.
Wow.
So the final attorney that we had, she was up in North Jersey. She was involved in a lot of litigation, big time type of things. And she said, I will do this pro bono for you. I'm not going to have you pay out any money out of pocket. That was we started this in March of 2021 was the initial cost when we actually had the roof done. It took up until this year to actually get them to settle. 2 years. Yeah, almost 3 years, because it was almost 3 years. We threatened to go to court, and they said, no, we do not want to go to court. So they gave us this bogus settlement. So once we finally settled, and then we actually finally had our settlement done in June, everything's been done. We reached out to your office, spoke to Caroline. Caroline, she was my first contact at your office. And she said, okay, we'll have somebody come out. Will came out the next day next day. Will came out and went through the whole house, explained the whole situation. Will said, okay. He said, well, probably maybe July 11th, we'll probably be able to get you on the calendar for it. But let's see if we can get you qualified. Walked me through the whole process of financing. He was here maybe an hour, not even an hour, but everything was done, ready to go. We walked through all the paperwork. This is what it's going to be. This is how much it's going to be. Every step. Went through every step with us. And then we got a call from Carolina like a week later saying, okay, we actually can get you a schedule. That was Tuesday. We can get you on the schedule for tomorrow, which was last week, Wednesday. I said, really, that fast? She said, yeah, we got your permits, everything ready to go. And then Tom came out. Tom came out the day before and said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to walk through, went through everything, made sure everything exactly was supposed to be. And true to form, your crew showed up last Wednesday, true to form, 7 o'clock on the dot, ready. Actually, it was like 6:45, actually. And did a beautiful, beautiful job from start to finish. All your crew was here all day long. I was surprised on how smooth the whole process was. from after the first nightmare that we went through. I mean, your crew was here up on the roof all day long, just going nonstop until they left it, whatever time it was.
Oh my God, I think it was like maybe 5:30 at night.
5:30.
Yeah, something like that.
We're gonna get it.
Yeah. It was just an amazing, amazing experience. I was like, so this is what it's like to have a roof done.
The right
because
way.
we didn't have any kind of issue. Like, we never knew that, I mean, we knew that we're here, but they were just so diligent in doing everything that they did. And they cleaned up like we never knew that they were here.
It was like a well-oiled machine, honestly.
Yes, honest to God. Honest to God.
No complaints.
And Tom was here all day. He says, okay, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. The electrician came in, looked and said, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this. He was actually here yesterday, hooked up our fan. Of course, you were in our, our attic fan. And it was just an amazing, amazing experience. Absolutely.
I'm glad that we were able to change that whole experience because it was a nightmare in the beginning. And
yes, yes, it was a true nightmare. I mean, and now that actually finally I can call my townships and say, hey, can we clear this?
Well, clear a permit that's
been open since 2021.
That's crazy. That's crazy. The whole reason I just came back to do the final walk around, make sure everything is good, customers satisfied. And they were telling me about the story. I said, hey, we got to get this on YouTube because this happens more often than we know.
Yes.
And I preach, I said, listen, homeowners, if you don't going to get the job from us, make sure you do your homework because this is what could happen. It could be a nightmare. So that's the whole point that I want to get across.
And then the whole thing was that they pulled my credit twice and said, sorry, we can't go and do the financing. They went and did the final financing with, who was it? Fortiva. And I called Fortiva and said, wait a minute. How did you get an application? Because I never signed for anything. Oh, the roofing company did it on your behalf. I said, excuse me?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
How do you do financing for people, and especially for my son, how do you go and do financing without anybody's approval?
And there's no verbal or signature. I mean, how can you do that?
They never produced an application, nothing. And lo and behold, it all disappeared off my credit report.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was never there, yep.
Huh, that's crazy. I mean...
Well, I would assume that was the attorney doing her job, getting that removed. There's no way
they definitely got it off my son's report. I mean, because we called and we said, okay, we want to make sure that there's no open balances with Fortiva, because if obviously they have the balance of the loan, we obviously would make sure at least somebody gets paid for it. It's like, no, they said, you've got no balance. Your balance is zero. There's nothing open on your account at all.
This company was so slick and so smooth talking that they would put it over on anybody, really. They were that good.
I see that often where they take advantage of people and like you said, they didn't give you no paperwork, they didn't give you none of that.
I had no contract. We had nothing signed.
The original, what they did is they came in, did a presentation, went up, did video camera, came down, and they had a tablet with the original contract for, like, I believe it was $14,000, and that was the Owens Corning, venting, everything that was promised that we didn't get. When they couldn't get that approved, and they lowered it, they took away all that, and it came down, I think, around $9,000.
Right.
And we never signed anything. So there's never a second, like when they modified, no signed signatures, no nothing.
That's crazy.
My son was never involved in it again at all. So it was done wrong. You're in that hurry, and your company is that kind of business, and you have to practice like that. You shouldn't be in business.
Yeah.
I mean, have a conscience, seriously.
And we told them specifically, because we've been in Pennsauken for 20 plus years, that we need a permit. Pennsauken needs a permit. No matter you breathe wrong, you need a permit in Pennsauken.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
So when they actually put the dumpster outside of our house and then dumped all the materials, we got a citation for it.
Citation. We've been in our house 22 years.
We've never had a citation for anything in this neighborhood.
Nothing.
So for them to do that, and they said, well, and then we had to pay for the permit that they applied for.
Yeah.
We had to, so
it was just one big mess after another. It really was.
And for you guys to come in and say, okay, we'll take care of the permits, everything's ready to go.
And then actually follow through with what you promised makes a big difference. So everything we were told we're getting, we got. Yes. No leaks, done properly. Cleanup was done. Everybody that we dealt with was very polite in manner. Mm-hmm. So there was no rough edge. There was communication all the time.
Yes.
I'm glad that you were able to change the whole experience.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I and the other thing I do like the fact is that I noticed Tom's arm has the Special Olympics.
And
so autism awareness. So I did it because there's a couple of the crew members who have their kids that had autism. Plus, I have a goddaughter. She is autistic too.
Right.
So we decided. So all the shirts that we produce for all like hoodies and everything, we got the symbol on our shoulder.
My oldest son is autistic.
Yes.
And we actually, up until a couple of years ago, we were actually coaching. We were they were Special Olympics. Both my son and my daughter were Special Olympic athletes. So, we actually coached.
So that means a lot to us.
Yes.
That companies, when you do that, the first company, basically it was a bunch of BS, and that really bothered me.
Yeah.
That got under my skin. But to see you guys come in and actually show the concern and show the proper thing, mannerisms, it means the world.
Yes.
You don't put a patch on your arm and say, "Hey, we're donating this." When you're pocketing the money, which is probably what they were doing.
Oh no, I don't know what they do, but
it was just a shame. But I can't thank you guys enough. Honestly, you, your crew, everybody involved, name by name, because I don't have all the names, but from start to finish, fabulous.
Appreciate it. Thank you for letting us turn this whole experience back around. And this is one of our slogan is "One more happy customer."
Absolutely.
And you're definitely in the family of one more happy customer.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
absolutely.
so much.
We really appreciate it. Like I said, you guys are local. We drive by your company all the time.
It leaves a lot of pressure off you.
Yes.
You can sleep easier now, knowing it was done the proper way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. I'm glad that it's done, and then everything is good, and then you guys are happy. So thank you so much for choosing our company, and I'm glad that you had a A+ experience.
Absolutely.
There's not enough stars to give you a positive rating for what you guys have actually really did. Because you had to correct a big mess, honestly.
Yes.
That was a horrible mess that you guys had to come in and correct, and it was done. And it was done properly.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing the experience. And homeowners, just make sure you do your homework all the time. I'm always do your homework, because this is what could happen. This was a happy ending. They were happy with it after the whole controversy of the roof and all that. But do your homework, please.